Hello, welcome to Jason the Old Millennial. My name is Jason, speaking to you here in my basement in the great state of Kansas. In today's video, I am continuing my ranking every single Beatles song. This time I'm covering number 48 through number 45 on my list. So stay tuned to see what that is here on Jason the Old Millennial. Hello everybody, hope everybody's doing well here on a Thursday afternoon. I'm doing really well. It's been a pretty good week. The weather's very nice outside. It's always great to see. Before I go on to my rankings, just want to plug this Saturday. I'm doing a live stream on my channel at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. And I'm going to have two guests, Mike from Did You See That? And Norn from NornRad89. And we are going to rank our top 10 favorite female wrestlers. If you don't know, I am a fan of professional wrestling. I don't talk about it a lot on the channel. We actually did a live stream some months ago doing the top 10 favorite male wrestlers. Anyway, so we thought we'd do female wrestlers, kind of balance that, the male wrestlers. Anyway, so yeah, we're going to have a pretty fun discussion, I think, this Saturday, discussing our favorite female wrestlers. So please stay tuned for that if you can. Anyway, so going on, this is ranking every single Beatles song. I'm starting to get towards the top here. And this is actually the beginning of the top tier list that I made for myself. I made all my lists and I put in 4 tiers. I put the Beatles songs I don't like basically in the bottom tier, and then I have the okay Beatles songs. And then I just got done with what I call the good Beatles songs, which there's a lot of good Beatles songs out there. And then this top tier that I'm starting today I'm calling the great Beatles songs. These are just my favorite Beatles songs. They're the Beatles songs that I have to put on a playlist if I make a playlist. I said it's 48. I mean, that's how good the Beatles are. No other band has 48 just absolute killer songs like the Beatles do. I mean, they're just a way above any other band that's ever been or ever will be, in my opinion. And yeah, so this is all 5-star songs. These are songs I just absolutely love listening to and will listen over and over again. So yeah, so these 48 songs are top tier songs for me. So starting that off, at number 48, we are going with She Said, She Said, which is a song off the Revolver album. It's a Lennon McCartney song, though it's really a John mainly song. Very interesting song coming off the Revolver album. Kind of towards, I think, the bottom part of the Revolver. But Revolver really, along with Rubber Soul, really kind of changed the Beatles sound a little bit. The guitars just sound a lot heavier, just a little more rocking, I would say. And this is definitely one of their best rock songs I think they ever came out with. And that's what I love about Revolver, is just the sounds of the guitars. It just sounds so great. And even though I play guitar, I'm not as knowledgeable about how electric guitars work. Like Garrett from Soundlet Studios probably knows a lot more about how you get the certain sound to it. But their sound just sounds just heavier. And I just absolutely love the sound of the song. I love the guitar. Guitar is just absolutely amazing throughout. It plays throughout the song. It's playing really good guitar licks. And I love the main one, we know. And when they end with, and she makes me feel like I've never been born. Like, I absolutely love that guitar part that they end each kind of section with. But throughout, the guitar just sounds absolutely amazing, along with the drums and the bass. I mean, everything absolutely amazing. It just totally rocks. And John's vocal is absolutely amazing. I love how he starts each, verse or whatever you want to call it, with, she said, and then it goes into it. I just love that, how they begin that line that way. And of course, it has a famous line from it. I know what it's like to be dead, which is such a cool line. Like, it's one of those really cool lines. I don't know exactly what it means, it seems like, but obviously there's kind of a story behind that. Kind of famously, it's been said quite a bit, is that the Beatles were like at some kind of party. Some of them were taking LSD, including John Lennon was on LSD, so he's going on some kind of trip. And Peter Fonda was there. Peter Fonda, of course, son of Henry Fonda, famous actor. And Peter Fonda, of course, going to be a famous actor himself. At this point, I don't think he did Easy Rider yet. So he hasn't really made it real big, I don't think, Peter Fonda. But he's obviously has famous parent or a famous dad, so he's around, I guess, these kind of parties and meets these famous people. And so Peter Fonda was at this party, and he was also, I think, tripping out maybe on LSD. And interesting thing about Peter Fonda was when he was a kid, he got hold of a gun and he accidentally shot himself in the stomach, I believe, or somewhere in in the lower part, and really bad wound, had to be rushed to the hospital. They'd operate on him or whatever, and he was declared dead. It was one of those things where like maybe his heart stopped, and he was declared dead for just a short period. Of course, he came back alive. Anyway, so that's kind of this behind story behind the Peter Fonda being at this party, and someone mentioned death or something, and Peter Fonda overheard someone say that, and he decided to say, "I know what it's like to be dead," and which is such an interesting line to say to somebody. And of course, I think it kind of freaked John or George out. I know when the Beatles, it kind of freaked them out because they're, you don't want to be negative when you're, I think, tripping on LSD. I've never been on LSD, but I have a feeling whether you're on whatever hallucinogenic drug, you don't want negative feelings put in there. You kind of freak out. And so they kind of freaked out a little bit, I think. But yeah, John remembers that line, and kind of that was a line he wanted to use in a song. And so he kind of feels like he built the song around this one line, but it was such a good line, I guess, that he was able to come up with this song. But yeah, absolutely amazing sounding song. John's vocal is amazing. There's some good harmonies in here. Yeah, such a fun song to listen to. She Said at number 48 on my list. Number 47 on my list is a song that I feel like I absolutely love. I don't feel like it gets enough love from other people. I feel like it's not very high on most lists. So it's definitely, I got maybe the highest, but man, it's such a good song, and that is You're Going to Lose That Girl. It comes from the Help album. It's a Lynn McCartney song, and it's one of those that's not mostly John or mostly Paul. It feels like it's a pretty collaborative effort into the song, though maybe it's a John song since he's kind of the lead singer in it. But it's a very interesting song. What I love the song the most is I love the back and forth between John as the lead vocal, and then Paul and George are doing kind of some backup vocals. And I love there's almost this back and forth between the two. And I don't know, I always love that in songs. You probably hear me say that a lot when I'm doing these kind of rankings. I always I love backing vocals. I love when when the lead singer is singing something and then they're doing something else. Or I love back and forths and so forth. And this got a good one, where he's going, you're going to lose that girl. Yes, yes, you're going to lose that girl. You're going to lose that. Yes, you're going to lose that. I don't know why I love that. They're both working together. And then great drumming there as it goes into the verse. And he explains why you're going to lose that girl to this guy that he's talking to. And, in the background keeps on saying, yes, you're going to lose that girl, as he's singing along, and even when he's like, what am I supposed to do? Or something like that. What else can I do? Or something like that. And then they kind of answer back, that's what he's going to do or something like that. And John's like, yeah, right in there. And so I just love that back and forth between the two. I mean, I think it says, what else am I supposed to do? And I kind of like the story of the song, kind of. There's kind of this interesting, he's talking to a guy who has a girlfriend who he's not treating right, or he's not giving enough attention to, and he's basically kind of what's the word? He's saying, if you don't treat her right, I'm just going to steal her away from you, and I guess she's going to be my girlfriend. It's kind of a threat, I guess I'm saying. He's kind of threatening this guy in this song, man, if you don't treat this girl right, I'm just going to take her, and it's kind of interesting, very confident. I can't say I've ever been that confident that I can say to another guy, yeah, I can take her. I mean, I think we have to, we negate the fact that the girl has to decide as well. But in this instance, it feels like, this guy who's John is saying, he can probably get any girl, which might be possible. John at the time probably could get any girl he wanted. So maybe he's singing from, the confidence that he had in real life. Obviously, most of us don't have that kind of confidence that we can just, point to a girl and be like, you're my girlfriend. And that would happen. Most of us have to, kind of beg girls to go out with us, but yeah, so I just love that kind of idea that he's so confident that I'm going to take her, if you don't, shape up kind of thing. So I don't know if he's interested in the girl or if he's just trying to get this guy to shape up and be a better boyfriend. I don't know. It's interesting kind of idea, I think, for a song. Anyways, it works really well. Again, drumming was great. Love the guitar solo in here. Is really quite good. And yes, yes, you're gonna lose that girl. You're gonna lose that girl. So good. Yeah, so that's why it's here at number 47. You're gonna lose my girl. At number 46, I got one of the, definitely a song that's on anybody's list. In fact, it could be like a top 10 song on most lists, I guess. I feel like I probably have it a little bit low here at number 46, but not to say I absolutely love the song. It's the opening track of the album Help, which is the song Help, which is a movie that they made called Help with the exclamation mark at it. Yeah, absolutely amazing song. Like I said, it's quintessential Beatles. You know, if you're a Beatles fan, it's like this is a must, you know, listen to or to have, you know, in your Spotify list. It's a Lennon McCartney song. It's mostly a Lennon song. Of course, the story behind it is Lennon kind of, he basically wrote it kind of almost biographical that he was feeling kind of depressed and down. There's this period, and he says that he was eating a lot and getting fat, which I don't think he ever really got fat, but I guess he got a little fatter than he normally, you know, isn't. And so I don't know, he just kind of went through a depression or something during this time. And we're talking, this came out in 1965, so this is right at the height of their career where they were just absolutely huge. And I don't know why, you know, Lennon's a very complicated individual, but he got depressed, and so he wrote the song about how he needed help. You know, he needed somebody's help. Anyway, so it's almost a cry for help kind of song. But it's always interesting because it's a very upbeat song, so you don't really get that through the song, the mood of the song, that, you know, because it's such a catchy song that you don't really get the sense that, you know, that John was going through this depression. It was more of a serious song than what you think it is. So that's always kind of interesting. But it is one of the great catchy songs. And I mean, you have to love that beginning, you know, help, do I need somebody, help, just not anybody, you know, just a great help. Like the vocals, the harmonies are great. The back and forth is great. And the guitar part is great, how it begins. And yeah, great guitar throughout the song. And like I said, and drumming and everything just works so well. But yeah, such a catchy song. And again, I love the, you know, the back and forth between the lead and the backing vocals, you know, help in any way. It's so good. Yeah, what more can you say? It's just one of the best catchy rock songs that they came out with, and a great song to open the album. One of the great openers to any album is the song Help. Anyway, so yeah, I have here at number 46 on my list, though it could go higher. I can see someone saying it should be higher. I should also say it was also a #1 single in both UK and US. I mean, absolutely huge hit, like I said, of their discography. But yeah, so that's number 46. Then the last song I'm talking about, number 45, is a song called 8 Days a Week, which comes off of the Beatles for Sale album, which I hear a lot of people say that's the worst album, which it is kind of towards the bottom for me. Still a really good album and has some real good quintessential songs. Like 8 Days a Week is definitely one of those, you know, must Beatles songs. Again, like I said, to listen to, and one of my favorites off of that album. Sure, I think there might be one other song that I have higher on that album, but yeah, definitely a highlight of the album. Probably the biggest, most well-known song off the album, in fact. It's another Lennon McCartney song. It seems like more collaborative effort, though you can probably give a lot of credit to Paul for writing it, because he came up with the idea for the song and the whole story. It's another kind of famous story, you know, if you see anything about this, you know, in documentaries or in books, that Paul was in his car and he had a chauffeur, I guess, driving him, and he was having a conversation, and he must have said something to the chauffeur about, you know, how long he's been working or something like that, and the chauffeur replied, "I've been working 8 days a week." So this was an idea that he just kind of got off of the chauffeur. And of course, he was like, you know, well, I like that idea. That I love the sound of that. 8 days a week sounds like that could be a song, you know. And that's one of the things Paul was so good at, and John, was they hear someone say something, they're like, I can write a song. And they write an absolute killer song. It's a huge hit off of somebody's idea anyway. So, and it's a cool idea. I like the idea, you know, and it's such a witty thing to say. I don't know if I can come up with that myself, you know. Usually you'd say 7 days a week, saying I work every day or I work really hard. But to say I work 8 days a week is saying I'm working really, really hard. I'm working so hard that I'm working more days than it's possible, you know. But of course, the song turns into a love song. Of course, it's the Beatles. During that period where Beatles were really writing more love songs, they're starting to get into more other type of songs that are more complicated. than just I Love You, but still it's a great kind of love song about loving somebody 8 days a week, you know, show how much I love you. I love you so much. I love you more than that there's time possible. You know, it's always a great, you know, it's a great line. It's a great idea for a song, I think. And yeah, it's a really good, catchy song. I love the fade in. It's like, I don't know if it's the first song I've heard that had a fade in, but I love the guitar. It comes in dun 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 dun, dun and it gets kind of louder. Before we get into the verses. And again, John's absolutely amazing in the vocals. And you gotta love the kind of the chorus of the hold me, love me, hold me, love me. Those hand claps, so good, and it works so well the way they do it. And ain't got nothing but love, girl, but 8 days a week. And one of my favorite parts is anytime I go to a Beatles tribute band, which I've been to quite a bit in my life. I always love going to Beatles tribute bands, you know. And this is a song I feel like almost all of them do in concert because they can get the crowd involved, and they always say, okay, I need the crowd, if I can do my Liverpool accent, to do some hand claps. I don't know if that was a good one. And so then it's fun as an audience member to, you know, they go, all right, you guys, hold me. And then the whole crowd is clapping and singing along. It's so fun to be involved in the song. So it definitely maybe makes it even better for me because I have a lot of good memories of going to concerts hearing this song. But yeah, still, I think one of the most well-known songs in this period of time. It was a #1 single in the U.S. Of course, most of these songs don't come out as singles in the UK. They leave the singles off the album. So this was on the album in the UK, but in the United States, it came out as a single. And so, like I said, it was so big, it went #1 in the United States, which, of course, a lot of songs went #1 from the Beatles. They were hitting on all cylinders at this point, as they did pretty much throughout their career, I guess. But yeah, so it's one of those songs that came out in the United States as a single, but not in the UK. So it counts as one of their #1s. But yeah, really great song. 8 days a week. Number 45 on my list. So that's the end of my list today. Please comment. What do you think about these songs? Do I have them too high or too low? Where would you put your songs in this period? I love to read your comments. And just thank you to everybody watching this video. Thank you for liking it. And thank you to all of my subscribers for supporting the channel. I appreciate you all and hope you have a good day.